Alright, threw together all the ideas that are on board for the robot right now. We still have the same launcher mechanism, and I guess you're seeing some stuff in the background, but just one more look at the launcher. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's got a little doodad in the back. Okay, so that's a launcher. But other things that are new on this, the Rhino tracks we're familiar with. There's now an aluminum frame housing that's going around the outside. Right here and here there'll also be a T connector, most likely, much like the L connector we have on the end, and the three-way connectors on top. These are all connected to a C channel here on the bottom, which is attached to the frame, just not with any screws yet. This little C channel holds all the oil will be dripping out, making a mess of the place. Then we got C channel to hold oil. That's that black thing's the base plate. It's going to be at the bottom. It's a skid plate, protect the underside of a robot. It doesn't sit too high above the wheels. I don't know if I can make a measurement on this. There's not much clearance. It'll probably try to give me the angle distance, just a plane to plane distance, less than an inch. Clearance on the bottom, but that's fine. We won't be getting much air or having people stab us from underneath. This purple thing, I made it purple because it's very rough. It's very rough. It's not dimensionally accurate at all. This is the motor and the gearbox, the 90-degree gearbox that's going to be driving our worm drive, which is what we're going to be using for aiming. Get out of here, measurement. The worm drive, this gearbox is attached to a garage door screw, and once again, this part here is not accurate. It's something else I just came up with because I didn't remember what the dimensions of what we were using, but it's something to cause the whole arm here to swivel whenever the screw starts turning. So when the screw starts turning, this thing slowly starts moving up or down, and you can see the effect it has on the launching mechanism when that goes up down. It has a nice lever action to it. And it doesn't have to move too far to get our robot to go from the low position all the way up to the high aim position. And we're going to have to be very careful with this length right here whenever we finalize everything, because we don't want it slamming into the motor. It'll rip it completely off of, it'll rip the screw completely out. We don't really have to worry about too much going the other way with the screw, other than the fact that you can see, we don't want this go to below the plane of the tracks. Essentially, it'll hit the ground and our robot will do a front flip. Maybe that's the last thing we can do with it. It'll be pretty cool looking, but it would definitely destroy something. Oh man, it's just a smooth action. I love it. And then I took a look at how that's going to interfere with the electronics. You can see something cool down here. I'll get to that. But when this is all the way back and we're ready to launch, you can see it starts taking up more and more room back here for electronics. And we don't want that intersecting a single wire or a single mechanism. And I doubt the modem can take much of a compression force from this thing or anything else. So we're going to have a nice little box for the electronics team. Let me free move. Let me get it out here. Take a look at it. It's a nice little box that we're going to have for them. Gonna make it out of some plastic material, might have it clear, a nice smoke look to it, Ket was promising me. And what is any box without a cute little lid? But yeah. And yep. We're gonna store the battery on the underside of that, right on the space plate, so it won't take up much of any room. And we'll also have holes in this box where the electronic team needs it, so they can wire it to the two motors, which aren't here, but they're not in the way of anything. We can hook it up to the motors, which are underneath the box, the battery, which is underneath the box, this motor right here, which drives the worm drive. There can be a hole for that as well. We'll need wires that come from the motor. We're going to run them through this aluminum tube right here, down this one, and it's going to pop out the Sorry, my whole robot's falling apart. I shut off all the connections. It's going to pop right out the back here, and that wire can once again go straight to here. So there should be almost no stray wires in our robot. The only one I haven't thought about is our camera. We haven't really said where we're going to mount it, but it's most likely going to be up here somewhere on the launching mechanism, which means we'll run that wire probably with the same wires that we power these motors with. Yep, so that's about it. I mean, there's more to come, but these are the ideas that you guys threw out. I've put some reality to them. Now you just gotta build them. And I'm excited. So, okay, that's all.